What's going on, Colts Nation? I appreciate you joining me for another video where in this one, I want to talk a little bit about something we've talked plenty about, right? We've talked about needing an upgrade in the secondary and what's that going to look like? How could we make that happen? A lot of people talking about trades, right? Reek Woolen is somebody we've talked a lot about here on this channel, trading for him, which would be cool. But an option that I've talked about is trading for an edge and then signing a guy that's just waiting to be cleared. And he was supposed to, check with doctors in October. So I was waiting. I waited all October, never heard anything. But I was scrolling Twitter last night and ended up finally seeing the information that I was waiting for. And my friends, it has happened. Ian Rappaport reporting. Chargers free agent cornerback Asante Samuel Jr., who had a spinal fusion procedure this offseason, was fully cleared to return to the NFL by respected doctors David Okonkwo and Nick Theodore in a letter agent Trayvon Smith presented to NFL teams. Samuel becomes a top free agent and fascinating addition. So, finally, the information we're waiting for. Would he get cleared? He is cleared to come back. A young guy who, when healthy, played well for the Chargers. Even as a young guy, played well, which you assumed was going to happen. His father is Asante Samuel. Colts fans know him all too well. And I think it would almost be poetic. Now, I do wonder if there's a part of it where because his father is Asante Samuel, is there a part of him that just doesn't like the Colts? Does he would not play for the Colts? Is that forbidden in his family? Probably not, right? An opportunity to play in the NFL. But I assume there are going to be plenty of teams, right? The Ravens, I assume, are probably going to be a team that are trying to call and get his services, right? There are going to be other teams. I wouldn't be surprised if the Bills try to bring him in, right? I think there are going to be top contending teams that would try to bring him in, right? The Eagles, another one of those teams that could potentially look at bringing him in. I think they're going to be top teams in the NFL that are trying to bring him in. I wouldn't be surprised also, right? Broncos, Patriots, Steelers could be a team to watch in that whole thing. So Asante Samuel Jr., very interesting guy to look at, the talent that he has. Could you bring him in? Obviously, with him having spinal fusion, there's probably a period of time where he would have to get acclimated. He would have to do, conditioning, and he would essentially sit on the practice squad until, you're ready to pull him up if it comes to that. And it'll be interesting to see, is this something the Colts even want to do? I think the next game here against the Falcons is going to prove a lot, right? Going up against Drake London, Bijan Robinson, Kyle Pitts, that offense presents a lot of problems. Right, Michael Penix Jr. has definitely been up and down. I'm somebody who's a believer that Michael Penix Jr. can be a really good quarterback. I have him in a few fantasy leagues. I think he is a good quarterback. That offense has definitely been up and down, very hot and cold. But Drake London, I believe, just came off a 3-touchdown game. Drake London's been really good this year. If Jalen Jones can go from shutting down DK Metcalf to shutting down Drake London for the most part, then I think we start going against bringing in a corner. But it'll be interesting to see what happens, right? Even bringing in Asante Samuel Jr., of course, he would probably prefer to go to a place where there's an avenue to start, which is why I feel like the Ravens are probably somebody that makes a lot of sense. The Bills, a team that makes a lot of sense for him. Right, there are other teams that he would probably look at more to be able to get on the field. But if Jalen Jones is playing really well, you have him and Ward and Moore on the field together. Nick Cross and Cam Bynum in the second. All of a sudden, secondary back to looking pretty damn good, if we're going to be completely honest. So, going to be interesting to see what happens with Asante Samuel Jr. Something I'm going to be following very closely, just as I was sitting here just waiting. A couple times a week over through October, just trying to find any information. Is there anything coming out about Asante Samuel Jr.? I'm going to continue to monitor his situation, going to continue to monitor, hey, what teams are trying to talk to him? Is there any information about that out there? As I'm sure there will be with him being the top free agent right now. So going to be interesting to see what happens. We'll see if the Colts are in play. Add him as depth, right? You have Mekhi Blackman, who's got a lot of experience. Jonathan Edwards, undrafted rookie free agent, who has a lot of experience this year, but has had some tough times where we've been playing Cam Mitchell, right? So I think bringing Asante Samuel Jr. in, adding him with as much dime as we play, he could still get on the field. So a very interesting option. I'd like to see if we're able to do it, because then you talk about the dime package. If you have Charvarius Ward, Jalen Jones, Kenny Moore, Asante Samuel Jr. on the field together in those dime packages, I think that helps the pass rush a lot also. So it's just, I'm a fan. I'm a fan of Asante Samuel Jr. Honestly, even as a Colts fan, was a fan of Asante Samuel. I'm a defense kind of guy. I like good defense. Asante Samuel was a dog. As much as I hated it, you always knew in those Patriots-Colts matchups, he's a dog and he's somebody who's going to end up making a play at some point. And Asante Samuel Jr., same kind of guy, man. He can make plays. He can go out there, especially in a bit of a reserve role, right, in that dime package, and maybe in a rotational role in the cornerback 2 spot, or however that may work. But somebody that I'm very interested in. We've had plenty of videos on this. Somebody that I think the Colts should at least consider bringing in and adding to the depth of that cornerback room, and getting Jalen Jones back. Right, Mekhi Blackman, plenty of experience. He's played well. Hasn't been perfect, but he's been okay. You add Asante Samuel Jr. and then you get Ward back. At some point, you get Hilton back as depth. Like, cornerback room that was decimated with injuries, all of a sudden looking really good. Right, and obviously we talked about possibly getting Trey Henderson before the trade deadline earlier today. If you didn't see that video, limited time pretty much on that video of the relevance of that video, but go check that out if you haven't already. And of course, if you enjoy the content, make sure to hit the like button. Make sure you guys subscribe with notifications on so you continue to get notified anytime we drop any content on this channel. Of course, I appreciate you guys so much for stopping by for another video, and as always, take care of yourself, take care of each other, and go Colts.